Hello everybody. Today from Jihan radio station and TV we are going to present a TV program, and our guest today is Dr. Marcos Komninakis. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you.
Today we are going to talk about the ancient Greek drama and its influence on modern societies. As we know that before days you presented a very nice lecture at Peshawar Hall inside the Ministry of Culture. So it's our pleasure to invite you today to talk in details about this event. So welcome again, doctor. It's our pleasure again, and we would like to hear the details from you personally.
Sure.
That's why you are here.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. It's my pleasure to be here. And the issue that we're going to discuss today is an issue that maybe it's presented for the first time on Kurdish TV.
Yes.
I believe that it's very interesting for everyone, not just students, people in the university, but just about everyone.
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much again.
You are mostly welcome, doctor. So, Dr. Marcos, as we noticed there, you talked about the historical background first, about the ancient Greek drama, and you mentioned as I remember, the origins of the word drama. Can you tell us, or tell the spectators, from where the origin of the word drama came from?
Yes. Drama comes from the ancient Greek word dro. Dro means act. Now, the story starts around 700 years before Jesus Christ, before Christ, BC.
Okay.
And back then, at that time, we used to have what we called dithyrambs. Dithyrambs were rituals about celebrating the gods.
You mean ceremonies?
Ceremonies in the name of god Dionysus.
Yes.
Dionysus used to be the god of fertility, of drama, of entertainment, and wine.
Yes.
So back then, in 700 BC, the first rituals used to finish with the sacrifice of a goat.
Yes.
Goat means tragos in Greek.
Yes.
And odi, it's the song. So the song of the goat led to the formation of the word tragodia.
Yes.
And this is how we call it and we know it today.
Yes.
So the story started around 700 BC and became a play, became a drama around the 5th century BC.
Okay. So, doctor, as you mentioned the historical background, so if we go to the point that what is the relation between the gods and the dramas, as you know, their message was not only entertainment, it was something else beyond entertainment. Can you tell us this?
Yes. The ancient Greeks respected gods,
yes,
of course, but their respect was up to a point where they could put them into the human, let's say, orientation.
Values.
And of course, drama became, of course, a form of worshipping gods, but also at the same time became the source of philosophy and the application of various kinds of things like democracy, as we talked later on.
Yes. So was there any kind of criticism towards gods? I mean, did they criticize gods?
Yes. Criticism is at the center of tragedy.
Point.
It's a central point, and no one escaped from criticism, actually. Not even the gods, not the politicians, not everyone.
Yes.
The whole idea of drama was criticism.
Yes.
That's why it's connected later on with democracy.
Yes. When we hear about the dramas, we hear the word catharsis. What do we mean by catharsis?
Yes. Well, in every play, we have the development of three, I would say 4 stages. Originally, there is a hero. It's a tragic hero. The protagonist, someone who is the center of the play. Now, this man or a woman originally are good people, but these people do something wrong.
Yes.
And this something wrong is, we call it amartia.
Amartia.
Now, Amartya leads to the point where the hero realizes that he did something wrong,
Yes.
and there is a climax of this guilt, which we call catastrophe. Or catastrophe.
Yes.
After that, after realizing what he did wrong, needs the cleansing of the soul, the cleansing and
Purification, or we can
the
say.
purification, exactly. This stage of becoming back or going back to stability, to the inner stability,
Yes.
we call
Called
it
catharsis.
catharsis.
So, what is the relation between amartya and catharsis then?
Yes, the relation is that we always do something wrong as
We
humans.
are not perfect
We
creatures.
exactly, we are human beings, we do things wrong, but we also need to go back to the cleansing of this,
to correct
and,
them.
to purification,
Yes.
to the inner stability is the
Yes.
better word.
Yes.
So there is a balance, and this balance is what the ancient Greeks used to look for.
So it's highly philosophical that they were thinking about this,
Yes,
that
yes.
humans still nowadays go through the same process.
Yes, I would like to stay on this, on the balance issue. In all kinds of arts, as sculpture, for example,
Yes.
and other architecture in ancient Greece, the idea of balance is there, meaning
Yes.
that everything
Should
finds
have-
its way in a balance, and that balance develops people
Yes.
between weaknesses and strengths,
Yes.
between bad and good. Now this balance is there too as well.
Should be kept.
Yes, it's a psychological and philosophical
Yes.
point on this.
Yes, yes. So, doctor, when we talk about drama in general, we hear a lot of different terminologies. For example, the chorus.
The chorus, yes.
So, what is exactly meant by the word chorus in ancient Greek drama, and what was the role of chorus at that time?
Chorus is a group of people dressed the same,
Uh-huh.
wearing masks, so they are all the same. They look the same.
How many they are? If you
Maybe from 7 to 15 maximum. In some place we have 7, in some others we have 12.
so it
15,
differs
so forth.
according
Yes,
to the
differs
place.
depending on the play. But these people are people who are representing the community,
The community.
the voice of a community.
The local community, you mean?
The community which actually has a voice, comments, criticizes, and leads the protagonists or the actors to the play. Now this chorus is the I would say an organ to this play, and this organ is very important because really represents community, the voice of community. So all these people act as one. We see only one voice in there, but it's a group, and this is the voice of the people, the voice of the state, sometimes the voice of the gods.
Yes.
It's a voice that puts the actors in a balance, as we said before.
So it's one of the factors that puts them in balance.
Yes. Now this chorus is always there. There is no play without a chorus.
Chorus.
It's a very significant
Fundamental
part of the play.
part.
Yes.
So after that, we have spectators and
Yes.
actors. Can
Yes.
you define them?
Yes. Normally, in many cases, the tragedian, the playwright, is playing actually the role of the teacher.
Yes.
The spectators play the role of students. So the tragedian passes the message to the spectators through the play.
Yes.
Inside the play, the actors are those people who represent, who play the action, the dromena, the actions.
They are playing the role of teachers.
But they are, yes, but they are the teachers, and they actually there is a relationship between the tragedian, the playwright, the spectators, the action, and the actors.
So it's like a system. It's like
yes,
a system.
It's a whole system, exactly. That's why the tragedians are not just people who are, as we know them today, directors, but they are philosophers. They are passing messages
Yes.
to the community.
Beyond the entertainment
Yes,
part
that's
that
right,
they are
that's
going
right.
to show.
That's right.
So who are the, let's say the prominent figures of drama?
Yes. The father of drama is Aeschylus.
Aeschylus.
In early 500 BC. It's considered to be the father of drama. Of course, we have Sophocles. Sophocles was the most skillful of these playwrights.
Technical, we can say.
Yes, more technical.
Yes.
We have Euripides, and we have the Aristophanes, who is actually
Comedian.
the one with comedies.
Yes.
We have three types of plays. We have the tragedies, which are actually sad stories.
Yes.
We have the comedies, which are funny stories.
Yes.
And we have the satires, or satire plays, where kind of, let's say, short, funny stories, kind of theater that we today we call them burlesque.
As I remember, you focus on tragedies more than comedies.
Yes, we focused on tragedies because tragedies are more serious, more complete plays, and they pass a lot of meanings. Aristotle had actually defined tragedy as something that is complete, important, significant, and of some kind of magnitude. So even
so it's very serious.
Very serious, very serious. And in fact, not only Aristotle, but also Plato and others had commented on them. But Aristotle has a definition of a tragedy, and we emphasize on the complete, meaning beginning, middle, end, and also serious. And serious means that it's not only a story; it's not like mythology that we take in, let's say, but something that has to do with the way that the ancient Greeks used to think. It has a lot of thoughts in there, ideas, ideals, and morals. That's why it's important.
Yes. So, Doctor, in his book Aeschylus, the Persians, he talks about the enemy, not the Greek side. He talks about
it's a very interesting
the
point.
failure of the Persians.
Yes.
So
in one of the plays,
it's one of the interesting ways that he wrote his play. He talks about his enemies, not talks about the national side.
That's correct. The play takes place in Susa, in the city of Susa, in Mesopotamia. And the whole scenery, the whole play is about a group of old Persians who analyze why they lost the war against the Greeks, the Athenians. And it's a very interesting point because it doesn't talk about the accomplishments and the victory of the Greek army, but talks about the
failure.
Reasons why exactly. It's a psychological kind of thing. Why we lost the war against the Greeks. So it's another point of view which is very strong and very original, very unique, because we never had this before.
It's a kind of convention in Greek drama.
Yes.
So, Doctor, if we go to the other questions, I mean, when we read a play, especially a tragic one, we can see there is not only the part of entertainment, there is also a philosophy behind. There is also a message, a hidden message behind. So spectators at that time were not only, taking part in these events for the entertainment part. They were criticizing through this. It was like a start point for democracy, don't you think so?
That's right. We have to understand that the drama was developed during the 5th century BC, which is actually the golden century, and also the century where everything was developed. Architecture was developed, the arts were developed, Parthenon was built. Everything was around this period. Now, drama comes not as an entertainment, goes beyond the limits of entertainment. People used to gather together in a theater. They shared the ideas. They participate in there. They got instructions, let's say in quotations, about what is bad, what is good, how society would go through the catharsis. This is the point that we talked before, that the democracy went through catharsis. How we can go to catharsis? We go to catharsis because we want to forget the wrongdoings, to go through this and develop something good and find the inner balance. That was democracy. So people participated there. They were together. All of them were together, and this is how democracy started from. Criticism is the
Central
baselines
point.
of the central
Yes.
point of democracy. Everyone should be criticized.
And they politicized every single point
Yes,
inside
yes.
the place.
Gods were politicized.
Yes.
Gods were actually those who
To bring them to human values.
That's right. That's right. They were jealous. They laughed. They hated each other. They used to do tricks.
The same as humans do.
That's right. That's right.
So, Doctor, I mean, if we talk about the origins of democracy,
Yes.
can we define the word democracy and its origins?
Democracy comes from the word demos, which is
Demos.
public, people, and kratos,
Power.
Democracy means the power of people.
Uh-huh.
Power of people means that people participate actually and lively into what is going on.
Uh-huh.
So, if society does something bad, if
Yes.
a politician does something bad, like Solon, for example,
Yes.
was a statesman, a very
Yes.
well known statesman in Athens. If they did something wrong, they had to be criticized, and through criticism, they could lead or they could take the right decision.
Yes.
So, if the Athenians, for example, decided to go to war, for example, they all decided to go to war. No one actually said, "Okay, let's go,"
Yes.
and everyone followed. So it was a shared kind of an idea, a shared kind of thing, and this is how it started, how democracy started.
So that was the base of the.
Yes, that's right. The power of the people. This is what it means.
And also criticism was one of the central points because
That's right.
it led democracy to promote and develop.
That's right. I have to note, though, as we talked before, the influence of comedies in there.
Yes.
Aristophanes, although having, let's say, funny stories were even more critical than tragedies.
Yes.
You know that we know and we can actually criticize people through a funny way.
Yes.
So Aristophanes, although his plays from outside they look like comedies, actually they are very
Critical.
strong, critical
Plays.
yes, against the let's say people who did wrongdoings in politics and especially politicians.
So, Doctor, can we, for example, tie these plays to nowadays societies, like modern societies?
Yes.
We can see that still there are plays, living ones, like, for example, when we see drama in general, when we see the
Yes.
theaters around the
Yes.
world, they all imitate the Greeks, and still the content is the same. The strategy to follow is the same. So, can we tie this to the modern societies?
Yes, we are.
Is there a kind of relation between the drama centuries before Christ and nowadays?
Yes.
Especially
we are
the Greek one.
100 years later
Yes.
nowadays. However, the same issues still exist.
Yes,
We have wars. We can see around us what is going on.
yes,
We have cases where misuse justice. We still strive for human rights.
political issues
Then we
also.
have political issues, that's right. There's still barbarism as we
Freedom,
call it.
liberty.
Yes, so the issues are the same. The ideas are the same. People are the same. We are not different people. The human beings are the same. So what we have other kinds of things. We have technology, we have progress in other kinds of things, but the human values still remain the same.
At the end, they are the same.
That's right. So if we actually want to see how the Greek tragedy and the plays intervened in there, we see that still these values exist, and we have to take them seriously in consideration.
Yes,
We cannot say that 2,500 years later we are plenty or we are, let's say, full in democracy.
yes.
We still see people suffering from this. So the ideals are still there. We have to read more than let's say, from the ancient Greeks
Yes.
and see how they approach to this.
Doctor, don't you think that the Greeks played a very effective and great role in establishing like parliaments and congresses and debates and free discussions, and all these later on caused to the birth of democracy.
Yes, yes. The old assembly in Athens, the assembly is in today's parliament. People had the saying. Of course, as you understand, it was a little bit different from the idea of democracy as we understand it today, and and parliament as it was assembly thousands of years ago. Men were actually those who participated in the assemblies.
Who were powerful.
Yes, wealthy people used to make the most of the decisions. But the important thing is, and this is the role of the drama that played here, is that through the theater, the performing arts, the ancient Greeks had the chance to be in there, to follow this, to know exactly what is going on. And that's the most important part of the theater, the drama that we talked today. It wasn't about the past, it wasn't about the mythology.
Yes.
Or about epics, or about accomplishments, things like this. But it was about what is going on today.
The happening situation.
Yes, what is going on today. So, and in many dramas, even in comedies, we see that the role of assembly there and the role of people who participated in this.
And here we can raise the question that why all these plays were directly related to politics.
Yes, they are related to politics because, as we said before,
they were really political
it's
plays.
Yes, it's the use of authority and power. Politics is about the use of this.
So it intervenes.
That's right. How someone who is supposed to be the leader of a country, the leader of a place, the leader of a city, the leader, is using this authority and power for the good of the people, for the progress, for the development of the country, for what? So in this course, sometimes he or she may make mistakes, the weaknesses that we said before. Now, these mistakes, if they are there, if someone can spot them, should correct them. Yes. And this is the catharsis part.
Yes. So the former one was amartia, and the next one the next step will be the catharsis.
Yes, exactly.
The purification.
Exactly, the purification.
Yes. Doctor, if we look in depth inside drama, we see that although the other arts like sculpture, as you mentioned, painting, all these are very nice arts.
Of course.
Very good ones and very valuable ones. Yes. But they are not alive like drama.
That's right.
What's the reason?
Arts, that's correct. A very good question. Performing arts is about something that is happening now. It's, as we said in the beginning, it's about dromena. Dro means act. It means that people and actors and the chorus are all together and they act.
Let us say the other arts cannot touch the feelings.
No. Yes, the others.
Like drama does.
No, drama is the unique kind of art that puts all the parts together in a synthesis, and all these are happening lively. This is the case, and that's why we are. This kind of art is different from the others.
So, Doctor, how we can relate drama to education?
The whole drama is education.
Although it's an independent school for education,
of course,
but how we can relate it nowadays into our schools and apply it?
Of course. First of all, we have to mention that rhetoric, for example, debate, were fundamental parts of drama and fundamental parts of philosophy. We know Socrates and how Socrates used to teach, and Plato. So these kinds of things became together and synthesized really to one thing. And play represents us all kinds of things. Now, as we said before, the tragedians used to educate the masses, educate the people, educate the citizens of a city about things. So in the core element of drama is about education. It's about people and how they become better.
How to think.
How to think, exactly. How to participate, as we said before, and how to express the criticism. So in the center of criticism, this is about education. If we talk about education, we talk about looking for new things, criticizing things that may be not good, and try to find other things.
So drama generally was a very great convention for
Yes.
the societies before and nowadays still,
Yes.
because it opened a kind of gate to
Yes.
let them criticize the leaders, the
Yes.
gods, the society, the happening situation.
That's right. Don't forget that later on, after the ancient Greek time, the Romans, and of course later on with Shakespeare, we see exactly the same concepts being on and on again. Now here on this lecture, we talked about the origins. Of course, things did not stay there.
Yes.
They were developed in the future and up to now. And one thing that we could say is that in societies, like in Kurdistan, for example, theater has a very good role to play, and it's not bad if we invest into it.
Yes. Doctor, thank you very much for this nice speech and for this nice interview. So I hope if you have anything else to add it.
No, thank you very much for the invitation. I will be glad later on, and this is what announcement we made through this seminar. They will try someday, hopefully, here in Erbil or in Kurdistan, to have the chance to play an actual play, a drama here live for the Kurdish people.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you all. We hope to meet you again with another guest. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.